Big are very, very close of getting this one to go, to getting this trophy, albeit an online trophy, still a very important trophy because this has been the first event at the start of the new season. It is what we're all waiting for. Counter-Strike is back, baby, and Big are up 1-0.
Yeah, a match that started in fairly close contention, but eventually we saw them like streak some rounds together, win some incredible clutches, and now we go into a map which, wow, if it's last time is anything to go by, risk couldn't be closer. It was a 16-14 victory. The only thing that worries me a little bit for Big going into it this time, k1to was an absolute monster the last time we saw him on Inferno. Now, he wasn't the star last time, or in the last map at least, so might need to see a bit of a change from him, and well, we got a big change.
Wow.
He not only has dual Berettas, he has a dual Beretta raid boss. This is unheard of. He has been dropped those guns by a teammate to give him the chance to do some damage in this round.
Tabson did it. Wait and see here if k1to can make this happen. The turret Tez's. No, it's going to be the turret k1to. It's the other way around. Tez's signature move has been turned into the hands of k1to, and he'll get the 4K. This is next level, Tom. This is...
He's going for the 8. He's what? Back. k1to's just aced the pistol round with dual Berettas. I have never said that before in my casting career and may never say it again.
This makes zero sense. It was a meme back in the day when Teslas were called turret testers that he would pull out dualies and do this kind of stuff, but this, I don't even believe what just happened. I've never seen that before.
Should we just call it here?
I've been playing / watching / casting Counter-Strikes since 2008, and I've never seen that before in my life. Game's over.
That's not the start.
Obviously it isn't.
Oh my god.
Wow.
They're just taking an eco. I think maybe they need that extra round just to think about things. Of course, we will have a buy coming in the next round, but this is just confidence so far from Big. Using those SMGs to make some extra money. Searson can come in with a third round AWP because of it. And I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
All right, let's see this. All being bought on the T side. Searson with one on the CT side as well. This is the first real round of the game with weaponry on both sides. Missing a little bit of utility on the T side, but still. Very interesting since this is the bonus for Big. 2 MP9s still equipped.
Yeah, the T's coming in with a decent buy. It's a no. Oh, we're already seeing some pretty aggressive plays coming out. In this sort of round, it's understandable, though. As you mentioned, there's some weaknesses here for Big, so they're going to try and fill the void with some Searson AWPing, which, hey, I'm not going to bet against that any day of the week. Going to be a setup as well to try and give Tabson a little bit of extra space, but they're not quite close enough for that MP9 to do any damage. Counter utility being expended, and he just about escapes before Down rips his head off. Bit of a cagey first buy round for both teams, but we know for Heroic, they're going to want to get off to a strong start here.
Tess is now with an AK and the opportunity to open. Kaden throwing the bomb around. Smokes will be put out as well. And let's see. Kaden with the corner smoke towards long. Blocking of Searson, but still leaving room, so that kind of makes no sense to me. And Searson would just be allowed freely to stand here. Down will get one refrag though, so this is still possible, but it's a very, very hard situation. And they are banking on getting a frag right here, right now, and they will. Santaris goes down.
Tizian still on this corner, but flashed out of position, and Sounds brought it back alongside that ult from Nico. And well, now the dual Beretta King has 2 players to find. Now, bear in mind, one is low, one doesn't have armor. So this definitely doable for k1to. And as I said, last time they played this map, he was the star of the show. He's shown us that he's definitely still here and kicking. And actually, he has a real chance at a 1v1 duel. But Nico might switch his angle just in time to save his teammate. It will be a first on the board for Heroic. A close one at that. And with Searson getting 3 opening picks, you have to wonder if Big let that one slip away.
Also, I feel like Heroic with that situation, with that smoke, either should have rotated quicker or the smoke should have been placed differently. I'm not exactly sure if that smoke is supposed to leave a gap that big to the right side. or what was going on, but it seemed like the player jumping into mid wasn't really aware of the gap. So definitely something you should think about there. But no matter what, we are continuing the game. Full buy from both teams. Everyone's spending their money. Borup and the boys cleaning out banana. But Susan is here with the orb ready to hold the angle. And he has 2 teammates with him.
Actually going to catch Keto, at least for a little bit. This is much more of a slow, methodical round for Heroic. They know, as well as we do, that they can't afford to let this one slip away. And Cadian is patiently waiting for the aggression. However, that AWP was picked up very quickly by Tabson. He was almost waiting for his teammate to go down. Now, they are going to try and switch things in the other direction, maybe realizing that facing that AWP isn't worth the risk, and knowing that there can be a maximum of 3 players here. They are going to go for the push straight in towards the site. At the back is going to be Tizian. He's got the support from Zontares. The flashbang leaves him blind, however, but Zontares tries to hold. He's not going to be able to this time, and I think Tabson realizes a glass cannon AWP versus 4 is not worth the risk. It will be 2-2, and Heroic keep this going.
And this could go all the way. We're only 4 rounds in, but we have seen this game jump back and forth, individual actions on both sides. And this is how a grand final should be played. This should be a map where you never know what's going to happen next round. Anything could be decided by a great individual player, a great strategy, or something that's thrown out of the good old strat book. And these 2 teams we have right now are the perfect teams in this tournament, in my opinion, to have for this. One could argue that potentially complexity could have been more interesting, but no one is arguing that after yesterday. No one is arguing that these are not the 2 correct teams.
That was almost 2.
Yeah.
From Tabson. No surprise. Oh, he's actually taken the reins. Oh, we've seen this previously in Tabson's career, where he stole the AWP away from a member who shall not be named. The Voldemort of Counter-Strike. But here we go. Tabson was going to try and bring them through this round. Searson has been handed a dig, so there's a few extra pieces in play. But ultimately, this is Heroic's round to lose.
Nico trying to get up towards the apartments, just clearing the angles. But Tizian is here. He's ready and waiting with the Zeus. Let's see this. Oh, come on, Nico, please. Zontares with the deagle in the pit is not going to work anyway. And the round should be over once again. These 2 weapons should be saved. At least the AWP on Tabson should be saved. But it won't. And Heroic are going to be up 3-2.
Yeah, the money's still not going to be in a great place for Big E. That it will allow them for rifles, but you have to remember Tabson has spent some extra cash going forward, so there may be a piece or 2 missing here. An extra gun saved would be very valuable for the squad, but Borup is not going to give Keto the chance. So 3-2, Heroic take the lead. Of course, the last map was their opponent's choice, and I think it was pretty much what we said was the risk from Heroic, because it has been their permaban for a while. They moved that over to Dust 2 because I think we can all agree that probably would have been a default loss with how big play on Dust 2.
Yeah.
Now going into Inferno, though, the last time they played this, as said, it was a 16-14 earlier in the tournament in favor of Big. So don't expect this to be a walk in the park for the Germans.
Once again, the corner smoke towards long. Zontares is nowhere near it because he has a 5-7 and he's playing that close range angle, and they have plenty of counter smokes to put down to either force the T's to walk through them and give themselves an advantage, or just draw out the time. Zontares, though, eats a nade that bounces through the smoke and takes him down to 59.
Trying their best to sell this as there being more players on the B side than there actually is. Now, there is still a smoke remaining for Keto. Got some impressive B site holds from similar positions. This 4-man stack is the main focal point of this round. If they go pushing in, it could be the be-all and end-all. Almost for Zontares as he leaves Borup low. Now, they've definitely spotted a player around that short corner. So I think they've now made the realization that the push is going to be back. But what a peek from Searson. He goes in for a little bit more, and Tessus is waiting. And with 30 seconds left, a decision needs to be made.
Oh, there's gap.
A seems to be the answer, though. They're going to go back, Chris. It's Tabson who will be left to hold. They've got themselves a rifle at least as a saving grace. But Heroic have the round.
Yeah, for sure. Tizian will try and go and see if he can do something. Maybe get an exit frag or find an AK somewhere or not. And they'll be very happy with it. Oh, okay, Tizian. Luckily for the team, Tabson or Keto is there. We'll be able to grab the orb and run away. But look at that. Cadian, he's playing 4D chess. And he's faster.
A little bit unlucky as well. He actually connects the shot through the corner of the wall. But ultimately, that's still a good round. You have to take it in isolation. For Big, sure, they don't save any of the weaponry, but they have money anyway. Even still, though, Heroic getting rid of all the weaponry is going to be a good play. And considering how much money Teslas have, this is definitely an active decision for him. Looking like they might try and displace Big a little bit with an aggressive push into the apartments. They go running down mid. In fact, they're going to pressure short instead. Tessus leading the way, and he is dead. Gone within seconds, but that was the goal. He just needed to be traded. However, the trades never came. Searson has shut this out, and Nico's left so blind. 10 HP, 4 players. There is no way he wins this, but he can make it costly.
Was that just the next level read from Big? Because they had 3 players towards short A in that round where it was very, very dialed in to be a quick short A push from Heroic. Look at that. Searson is holding the angle. They have 2 players on short alongside with him. That's the 3 CT player stack on a very specific area of the map, which was the exact area that Heroic wanted to hit out of spawn. Either that's just incredibly lucky or that is a great read from Big.
Oh, I think we can go for the latter. I don't want to believe in coincidences.
I would put my money on that as well. When we're talking about the team that's #1 in the world.
Still looking like there's going to be a lot of pressure put onto mid in the early stages of this round. We haven't really seen a massive amount of banana takes. And in fact, for now, Big have it for free. They're just going to leave Keto here. It allows for these 4-1 stacks, which can be so terrifying to try and break down. While Keto's second AWP is not something to doubt at this point. We've seen it many a time for this roster.
There should be a high flashbang, I think, to take this. Yeah, here we go. But he can just dodge the flashbang. That's very nicely done by Keto. He can dance back and forward. Will release some damage here, and this is impossible for him. Smoke has to come down towards CT. It has already landed. Molotov towards him. This is interesting from Cadian. Elevating his position. Making the retake even harder, but a counter boost is coming in now. Santaris on the top of the situation. On top of the spray as well. 3v3. Cadian now close in the smoke.
Over the top peak has given them a chance, and the late flank from Tizian might not be expected. He may have just been spotted by Nico, though. Retrieves an AK, a slight upgrade, but peeking in front of the flash.
Yeah,
These just 2 standing.
Save.
Gonna try and save, but it doesn't look like Stal wants to let them. As Tabson hits a quick shot, and that will guarantee at least something into the next round. But again, something that was mentioned on the desk in the last map was how Big did a terrific job of limiting the money Heroic had. You could say the same now for Heroic. They are making these purchases really awkward for Big.
Tactical timeout for Big, and time for the staff in Germany to discuss what's going on here to get some feedback. 3 rounds of the CT side so far is definitely not where they want to go. They have definitely a potential to do better. That's for sure. Usually winning 52.63% of their rounds on the CT side of this map, Big, so an 8-7, 9-6 is expected of them. And at this point, they're getting further and further away from that goal. But then again, we saw it on the first map. Doesn't matter if you're down with 6 rounds, Big can always come back.
Yeah, I would say on a map like this as well. I think they've already shown their class on either side many a time. In fact, even in the last time these two teams played, I think they were the ones to get 7 rounds in their initial half of their T side and then close it out with 9 on the defense. So unless we see some sort of blowout, not going to be counting them out. Tizian again, aggressive. Do they expect Tizian, though? The 1-2 punch, and it's the 2 that comes in. A bit of a loss in terms of personnel, but it was only the Deagle. So for Big in this sort of round, it's really not that bad.
Centaur is just edging his way in the middle, just holding the angle. Heroic will have to use a high pop flash to kind of remove him from this area. Or maybe a Molotov down towards short. We have seen them throw that a couple of times to block off the rotation from the mid player, rotating back towards the short angle when the flashbang timings come. So let's wait and see. And he's putting down the smoke now and playing a more defensive angle. Around that 45-second timer is usually when mid players towards short tend to do that. And it's no different from Big here. They're actually making the double rotation as the push down towards Banana comes in for Keto. Santara is under heavy pressure now.
Oh, it is this man, though. He thrives under pressure, but it's only 1 kill, and Tabson trying to get back in to help his team. Tizian, though, he lurks out through the smoke, evens up the personnel, and leaves Nico in the back of the pit. We've seen this AWP shot hit many a time. More importantly, though, Keto has been the surprise factor. Down to the 1v1, but Nico, he will keep it going for Heroic. 6-3 in favor of the Danes. And now, well, there is going to be another purchase. It was still one of the weaker buys we've seen from Big, even though there were 2 weapons in play. Can they break back, though? They've at least brought the economy a little lower of the Danes.
And finally, Heroic start winning some 1v1s. Like, it's been a while. They lost a bunch of them on overpass, and I feel like it's very important for their self-confidence, at least some of these players in the clutch scenarios, to feel like it is doable to win these 1v1s. Bora pushing aggressively, finding Keto, but great counter flashbang timing. Surely it was the CTs, right? Yeah. It was Tizian, but counter nade coming in from Tabson as well.
They've gone for this same stack. These 2 players in towards the balcony. It's not something we see too regularly with both players in the same angle, mainly because that is a very common spot to Molotov. Either just bounce it off the corner of the wall, and then those 2 players have to try and retreat.
Yeah, and also you can do the double Molotov timing with the smoke on the middle of short, and then just rotate, like the rotation is cancelled as well. They have to go into mid and hold aggressive positionings, which can be flashed out. So it is a big risk, but if it's overlooked, it can be a big win.
Well, that's the thing I'm curious about, because in the last take where they had that same push, the Molotov they threw was deep. So I wonder if they've just expected Heroic to try and hard clear that angle and expected a deeper Molotov, and then just thought, okay, if we've read into this, we can now just try to fight this position.
Yeah. They've done it.
Problem is, well, as I said, it's quite easy to adapt to, and we've just seen that here. The Molotov thrown in to try and clear that spot, but the majority of the Ts are actually making their way into this B site. Again, though, the clock is low. 20 seconds. Tabson in position is going to try and catch one before they cross, but instead it's left to Tizian, and he gets nothing done. Tabson needs something through this smoke, and he isn't going to find it. Bomb will be planted, and again, it's looking like a safe spot for Big. Heroic are streaking rounds together once again as they take an even bigger lead.
And even though he has the sticker of the legendary in-game leader God B on his M4, there was nothing Tabson could do there in that situation. Doesn't matter how hard he thinks about it, that round is lost.
I'll risk. The loss bonus is going to be built up, of course.
Yeah.
So the 3 player save will actually be worthwhile for Big. It's not like this is a situation where their money's about to be completely reset and they'll be stuck in the mud in a really awkward spot versus the Danes. So
it's
don't
almost
have to worry too much yet.
It's almost the exact same scenario as we saw in the first map. Almost the exact same scoreline. So right now, Tom, my eyes are open for a 1v3 clutch from Tizian. Let's wait and see.
He's been a little bit quieter so far this game. And my bigger worry is that so is Zontares. And although we talk about how well Keto played on that Inferno map, the top fragger in the server was still Zontares. And normally is. And I think that's something that often gets overlooked is, of course, we expect a lot from Zontares.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the time he doesn't go missing. So if he goes missing here, that could be the be-all and end-all. As said, though, if they can even keep this half close, there's a good chance that he'll come back in the next one. So there's a bit of a quicker play, though, coming out from Heroic. They've set up into the A site. There's 3 players waiting. The rotation is yet to actually come in. And, well, it's a scout instead of an AWP for Searson. In fact, he's left completely blind. They just looked to try and single out Tizian, but they failed. And he will combine alongside Zontares. You called out 3. Well, he's got 2 of them already, Rid.
That angle he has on the back there is so incredibly hard to clear when you have an AWP kind of baiting for you, or even an M4 baiting for you on that double stack area on the side. Tizian, yes, he makes a great play himself, but it is also such a hard angle to clear, and his teammates, they play him perfectly into that position. Taps a nice frag from him. Cadian has to attempt to save this, because there's no way he's going to win a 1v5. And then once again, Heroic will have to think about, okay, what happened there? Very hard position to clear in the back. If you want to do that again, we have to please have the Molotovs or flashbang timing for that, or entry from a different point of view, or get someone in from short, then do the delayed rush out of apartments, because that was definitely not working out in their favor. Cadian missing that shot, and that will be the round. So number 4 there for Big.
Yeah, and a good play. Like, I think the one kill that actually comes in from Zontares initially might be more important than all the rest.
Yeah.
Just because he actually stops Tizian from falling. So it will be 7-4. We're actually going to see a tactical pause called by Big. And I think probably this is them realizing that, okay, this has to be the beginning of our comeback. We won an 8-7 half. That's what we got last time. And it ended up being a very, very close affair. That if 1 or 2 clutches or 1 or 2 big plays come up in the other direction, it could easily have slipped away. The scary thing as well, once again, is it happens quite regularly in grand finals, I feel, where Heroic are having to rely on the experienced players. You mentioned them, Nico and Cadian. They're the ones at the top of the board. It's Tessus and Stown who are still being a little bit quiet for my liking, and we know they've got the talent. I just wonder if this time maybe the pressure's got to them a bit.
We're gonna have to wait and see. There's still chances in this half and in this map, but the point definitely stands, and the focus is on them right now. Nice nade. Doubles up, and now it's Tizian in the mid, countering back. So 4v4, still an advantage for the T side, though.
Yeah, Tizian playing with an awful lot of confidence, knowing how important it is not to go a man down in the early stages of this round. As you mentioned, even a 4v4 is a very good position to be in. I always love seeing nade stacks, even though on Inferno it's fairly basic at this point, like the positions you're going to be holding. Searson, though, he's going to get caught out by Stown. We talked about
no
that secondary AWP.
There's nothing there to help him in that situation. I have to remember that point for later, because Kito's now kind of huge pressure, and they're just rolling in towards the side. This round is over, and I have to... It kind of irks me a little bit, because in that situation, it's still a winnable round for Big. If they play defensive and play off each other's angles, you can count on someone maybe getting a 2-for-1 conversion. He goes out and peeks aggressively with no flashbang, with no refrag potential. I know it's a great sign of confidence that you feel like that's possible, but still, in that situation, at least for me personally, I don't like that peek.
Well, yeah, it's very risky, and you're almost betting on your opponent not being prepared.
Yeah.
Which I think that maybe if you're on a map like Overpass, where we haven't seen too much from Heroic, you can try things like that. You can take those sort of risks, but this is their bread and butter. This has been a map that's been strong for them for a very long time, and you can see Stown and the rest of the crew were more than ready for that sort of peak. So they're going to take the half at least already on the T side, doing better than they did. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, although they did, I think, get 6 rounds, that was actually where they lost this. It was their CT side that they still managed the 8. So if you're looking at this right now, Heroic are in a very good position.
Definitely. Heroic have been good against the lower tier teams on this map. We saw the 16-3 against Endpoint, of course, but as you mentioned, that 14-16 was 8-7 for both teams in both halves. Oh, actually, not both teams, but of course. Big getting 8 on both halves. That was what I meant to say. Once again, English is a second language. It is not easy.
Nice entry. Tizian's gone. Maybe seeing Tessa's come to life, and I think if you're a big fan right now, you need to see the same from Zontares. 4 kills is something he was getting per round almost in the last map. This time, it's what he has total. Looking to try and be a little bit cheeky. He's managed to make the cross to at least support further into that A side. But again, it's left Quito alone. And now you talk about how passive they were being on that side. I guess it took a little bit of a cheeky play from Searson to give them the confidence, because they've had to gamble a second player back in that direction. Banana control completely taken by Heroic, as they now look to try and set up into this B site. Still some counter utility there, though.
Yeah, there's a gap in that smoke, so everyone's just waiting to see if someone wants to peek out and make a stupid mistake. tabseN will not make a mistake. He has the correct timing, and therefore that play works. The timing is just working out for him in general right now. tabseN should have shut down this round already, but Cadian is still alive. Surely not many seconds to go here for his life. Losing HP left, right, and center, and missing that shot. Quito also missing. Oh no, both these players just taken out of it. The nade will come down, and yeah, that round has to be on tabseN. 3 kills for him. Very nicely done. Perfect timing as the smoke dissipated. Finding the angle and the timing where the T's were lining up the utility.
Well, yeah, I think Inferno was definitely the map where we first sort of saw a big clan really rise to the top, although people still doubt maybe that performance a little bit more than anything else. Obviously during the major, back quite a long time ago.
True.
But now, I don't think there's as many doubters for this squad. Searson about to be pressured, though. Again, we're going to see this fast play coming in, but Tizian has his back. Lots of counter utility being expected. Denosko missed, though. Borup will only get 1, but Nico's there with the trade. However, they've taken an awful lot of damage.
Oh, Tessus.
And, oh, this is perfect. A free kill. He manages to make it into the smoke just in time, and that push from Zontares maybe not quite needed. Being spec'd out, though. Here comes tabseN again. He's going to get the face, and it's into a 1v1 just for a second, as the nade will dunk out Tessus big again. It seems to be that magic number 8 is all they will allow Heroic.
Yeah, Heroic now looking at the last round of the first half, and they're potentially at a couple of Galils. Nice time to take a timeout, especially if you haven't used one yet. Either pistols, a Galil dropped, and then kind of a raid boss set up in that scenario, or an AK dropped, and then Mac 10. It's not going to be the big investment. Let's see. I would, in this scenario, actually like for at least one of the players to get an entry weapon, a Galil or an AK, and then have pistols around it. But let's wait and see what they decide to do. Deagles with armor and utility, or Tech 9s is not a bad choice either. Now having some time to think about it, and let's wait and see. Still potential for Cadian and Tessus to drop one, or at least Cadian to drop one, or Tessus to drop a Galil. It's going to be only pistols. And that is the choice that gives you the most amount of utility, which is expectable when you're thinking about Heroic and Danish teams in general. Just get as much utility as you can. And that is what they've gone with here. Last round of the first half.
I think we can expect something a little bit quicker. Already. Molotov's fall. I think they would have hoped to extinguish that one before being able to push, but it looks like all eyes are on B for Heroic, at least for the moment. The nades going over the top could do a decent amount of damage, and it does. Catching 4 players for different numbers. And now I think they're just going to attempt to burst onto the site. They'll smoke the Molotov. Quito trying to get back into position. He nails the first with tabseN to support. This is falling apart. They need to catch out these players. The Molotov into the corner isn't enough. They're just being whittled away. And the support system of Zontares now comes in from behind. Cadian, 1 versus 4. He gets the rifle I think they wanted from the very beginning. But it is too little too late. Again, Big are going to bring things back to an 8-7 half. And you know what, Risk? We'll have to wait just a little bit longer to see if they're going to close this out in 2.
Yeah. Yeah, come on. Show me the money. Show me the money. Yeah, cause it feels good. good right now. Yeah. Gotta show me the money. Yeah. Come on. Never been around wealth, now I'm surrounded. Nice cars at the mansion right next to the fountain. CEOs in business suits and private accountants. Yeah. Summertime parties by the pool, we lounging. Then by night we out stunting on the main strip. Out of state trips, cars with the paint drip. How could you hate this? Jewelry in my chain sit. That's the life I wanna live. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. It's all about the lifestyle. Yeah. It's all about the lifestyle. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. It's all about the lifestyle. It's all about the lifestyle. Yeah. Come on. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Never have to worry if I have enough dough. Fashion show out in Paris in the front row. Party every night, I don't have time to sleep. Next day it's the same, just rinse and repeat. Summertime trips on the yacht to the island. Squad rolling with me and we do a lot of wildin'. Bottle of whatever you want, just put your order in. You can have as much as you want, there's plenty more of them. Yeah, show me the money. Show me the money. It's all about the lifestyle. It's all about the lifestyle. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. It's all about the lifestyle. It's all about the lifestyle. Show me the money.
Big Clan are 9 rounds away from another big win, a big trophy, and they need to seal it on the T side of Inferno. Welcome to the second half of the grand final, map 2, where the Germans can win it 2-0. Classic football score, of course, for those guys. And oh, look at that to start us off. Double nade. 2 nade kills. Maybe even projecting a 2-0 coming out earlier. We can wait and see, but the Germans have definitely started off full fire.
They're bringing out the spiciest pistol rounds I think I've ever seen. They just double naded the back of the apartment, knowing that Heroic like to take that fight. They are big braining Heroic at this point, and Tessus 1 versus 5. I think this is going to be the only way that we maybe top the plays of the tournament, is if he somehow manages to win this one, because Keto's looking to get that one locked down, as already he's being pressured. Tessus is not going to get anything done. That is a ridiculous pistol round, and now we've had 2 of them.
Yeah, and one thing that is easy to forget, Reducey, nice double nade stack here, but also in that first pistol round where, of course, the ace with the duelies from Keto came in, 3 of those frags on Banana happened due to a very, very good support flashbang. So once again, a piece of utility in both of these 2 pistol rounds is very important for the way that the round shapes out. And yes, the kills are important and the damage is important, but the nades are also... Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
I'm liking this, Heroic. They brought up all MP9s into this round and tried to blast their way down mid, and it is working. There's only one man, but it's the man you'd want. It's Tizian to try and save them once again. Gideon might just catch him with his pants down as he's going to peek out into middle. And that round was over in a matter of seconds. We still have a grand final on our hands as Heroic is not done just yet.
This game is not done delivering just yet. Just wait and see if we're not going to take this all the way to 30 rounds at least. Because these guys on the CT side of things right now, Heroic, they're not over yet. They still got something left for us to see. Force up, of course, for Big Clan in this scenario, but the force up will only ensure a couple of pistols and, of course, the scout on Certain, which we expect pretty much every single time they have a buy like this. Santara's taking damage from the nade. Where did that come from? Fell out of the sky? What's this?
Guys, it's raining nades. What? It's sunny. The hail hailstones have got a little bit ridiculous over Inferno at the moment.
Explosive hailstones. See, that's a natural disaster right there.
This is a much more passive round from Heroic, realizing that in terms of weaponry, they have the advantage here. 3 rifles, a few SMGs, and facing us against those dirty Deegs, and of course that 1 scout. But Citizen's still saving a little bit of extra cash just to make sure that when he does desire the AWP, it will be able to come in. Of course, their pistol rounds have been fantastic. It's been the rest has been a little bit flat, but Citizen once again showing why you can never doubt this man with a scope. Tabston will retrieve a gun for a matter of seconds, and more importantly, he will hand the bomb over to Cadian. That gives at least the chance for a rotation, but the remainder of this Danish side are yet to make a move. Another scout shot, I believe, has just been connected as well onto Nico. And you can see Searson trying to be a little bit sneaky. He's actually going to manage to get behind him. This should be a free kill, but he misses. Cadian moves at the last second. And now Keto's left alone. The spam of the Deagle gets him 1 or 4 HP versus an MP9. He never stood a chance.
2-round lead, but close to becoming a 3-round lead because this has to be a full eco from Big. They should not invest much into this. Maybe a couple of nades to get a free gun in the early part of the round if Heroic pushes out aggressively, as we saw them before down mid. Heroic should have an 11-8, and then the buy of Big comes in, and then it all gets interesting again. Early Molotov down towards B, towards mid. It's going to be the banana rush, and Down is here. No fear. This is done. It's over. It's eco round, Tom. It doesn't matter. It's too fast.
I'm liking how decisive Heroic have been in some of these rounds. There's been a couple now where they've just been taking map control, not allowing Big the option to set up. And that was one of the things that we saw in the last map, which Big were able to shut down with some great plays coming out from Keto, was that he basically managed to control Banana for them. Now, sure, he's had his ace in the pistol round, but it's been a little bit quieter from him since. I think they're going to need him once again, and this man as well. Definitely not having the usual Zontaro's performance. Well, if that's going to change, if Big are going to make it a comeback 2 maps in a row, it needs to happen soon, Risk.
Bounce back international game. Oh, get bounced on. Oh, okay. 1-for-1 trade, but Tizian continuing and almost getting a third one. Cadian down to 50 HP. So 1 player advantage and low HP on Cadian right now. This is looking good for Big.
Ready for him, but the duel's a little bit messy.
Yeah, Cadian should have had that. I'm sorry. I love the guy, but he should have had that.
We're up going for this. He's still there before the bomb, but I think with the amount of money that's left on Nico, the safe bet, the unfortunate bet, is to just make sure that your buy is good for the next round.
So Big are bouncing back just a little bit. Taps in with a double. And Tizian with the same. And once again, we do have to focus on some of the younger players in this matchup. I feel like at this point, we can't really take anyone out from the Big lineup and say they lack experience. Even though, yes, some of their biggest result with this lineup has been online. I would like still to focus on Borb and towards Tessus and Down, these 3 very young players who are the 3 players with the least amount of experience on Heroic, because Cadian has been around for such a long time, basically since the start of CSGO, and has been on the top level for a long time. And Nico also has been on great top teams, have won major tournaments, or not major tournaments as in majors, but like DreamHack Masters and so on. So these 2 players, they definitely have the advantage, and they know how to keep it cool, and you can see them on top of the scoreboard right now. It is the trio of youngsters we're looking at who need to perform a little bit better than what they're showing right now. And the reason that I'm saying this is because we know they can. It is just this pressure, this grand final situation. Everything is coming down to this, and that can be a lot to deal with as a young player.
Yeah, we saw them destroy OG just yesterday. It looked all too easy for both of them. 20+ kills, either map. Both averaging around 100 ADI. We know they can do it.
Yeah.
And they need to. Start of this round, though, has not been great. Banana control has dissipated. And Cadian, for that matter, has got to try and be a little bit riskier with this AWP. trying to challenge into mid. The nade will go through, and it does chunk down Tabson at least a little bit. However, again, both sides of the map, control has been gifted, given up, and Testnet, he's got to be careful. He's going to be caught over the top of the smoke. A free kill. He didn't expect it, but Nico has responded. Kept this even for now.
Nice timing on the Molotov as well, just as the smoke fades. Continuing to hold off the T's from getting entry into short. It's a 4v4, and it's a 2-2 split, so Heroic are going to have a rough time here on the A-bomb side. Keto and the boys even now just shutting out the rotation possibility. So they will wrap and make this an A play, surely. Going through CT.
Oh, no! That was a chance for Cadian. And while you mentioned it being multiple players split between different sites, it's actually now only one.
This is an interesting choice. Let's see what happens here, because Down is ready and he missed the shot. Under pressure. Borwell's also shut down. Yeah, this is not happening. Big have this round locked.
I think they have enough time just about to get the bomb down. It's going to be a matter of seconds, but yeah, you're right. It's Nico. If he stays alive just a little bit longer, they probably win that round if he could just deny the plant. It was a very risky play from Big, but it pays off, and now they might even be able to wipe out the economy. Down, trying his best to survive, and well, he's going to end up cooking. Zontares kills him off, and this is a problem now for Heroic.
I feel like Heroic needs to take a timeout right now. I need Hunden. Of course, we can't hear the communication, but I need Hunden and Cadian to talk to these young players right now, because this is where Counter-Strike gets really rough. This is where it's not just a computer game anymore. And we do see the pause coming in. I'm not sure if it's a tactical one, but nevertheless, this is where pressure comes in. This is where self-confidence is shaken. This is where the big players come to play, and the youngsters, the new talents, they have their problems. This is where Counter-Strike gets real. And right now, we have 3 players semi-struggling on the Heroic side, and those 3 players are stats-wise the better players on the team. That's the problem.
And it's the same sort of position that I said in the last map, where you have some quieter members of this big roster, but the more time they're given, the more likely they are to come back. And that's the thing. Like Tabson, he's already there. 17 kills tops the board. Keto, he's alongside with him. The dual Beretta King that's helped them get the pistol. And in fact, it's both pistols won. And that's something we saw in the last map. The team with both pistols won, Heroic, that was, lost the map. And we are edging in that direction now. You have to bear in mind, this round is probably not going to be a buy. You had 2 players with enough to buy rifles, the rest in an awkward position. So chances are late into the game, Big are going to equalize things. And with how things have been going so far, I'm starting to favor them.
Yeah, me too. Also because of the way that Heroic are playing individually in these scenarios. I don't feel like setup-wise there's anything wrong with Heroic. I feel like the way that they're set up on the CT side is fine. It comes down to the individual plays, and we saw Stown, of course, being pressured heavily in that last round, or missing many shots that he would have hit like 1-to-1 easily when he's not under pressure, when he's having a good time. But they are trying to set some of that up, maybe trying to see if they can get a cheeky early frag in this Eco round. This round does not matter right now. The next one is going to be important, but let's see how much damage they can get with it.
Oh my god!
Nothing.
It was only a matter of time. I don't think you can go a match without Zontares getting a 4K, and sure, it may have been an eco, but dear lord, was that clean. I almost feel a little bit bitter that somebody stole the ace.
One magazine, Tom. Just hold down mouse 1.
It's that easy, you know? Just that easy.
This is the important round. If Big gets this one, they are in control of the game. Both confidence-wise, money-wise, and also kind of balance-wise going into the rest of this one. So Heroic needs to get this one to go. Keto rushing up into middle, not fearing anything or any man or any woman, doesn't matter. He's just going to come in. Swinging, brings down the first one. He thought he had it. And Nico still survives. Keto was absolutely sure he had the kill and he stopped shooting.
I'll be honest, I was sure he had the kill. It doesn't matter, though. They found the entries anyway. Tabson just trying to deny them with the spray through the smoke. You're not going to risk facing into that one. And in fact, they're not going to risk the round at all. This is a fallback from Heroic. And, well, it's going to be the lead taken for Big once again.
Yeah, and I called for the tactical timeout before, and we got a technical instead. Once more, I want Heroic to take a tactical timeout right now. I want them to just kind of talk things through. And even if you don't have anything to talk about, just take a breather for these young guys to kind of relax a bit. They might not even know it themselves. They might themselves be saying right now, let's go, let's go, let's go. Just take a breather, get control. Because we saw Keto there. He was pushing it with full self-confidence. tabseN dying, that wasn't needed. But anyways, Big will get the lead 12-11. There is a possibility of buying up here for Heroic, I feel like. There's a possibility of getting something in this round, and they're doing it now. Tessa's, what will he get? Desert Eagle. So 4 weapons and a Desert Eagle and full utility on Heroic. No timeout taken yet. It's down. He's trying to do it. He's trying to gather the self-confidence. Let's see if this play works.
Oh, there seems like they might expect it, but he has. He's come up with 2.
That's
and you
the play.
mentioned him risk.
That's the play.
Finally, we've seen Stown come up. And well, there's only going to be Zontares left. He sprayed on 4 just moments ago. He's not going to be getting anything here. It's the young Dane, just 18 years of age, who comes up with the 4K, and that might be the comeback now for Heroic. They only lose the lead for a single round.
That's a star play right there. That's a player either say... there's no way that someone is calling this for him. He's saying himself, I'm tired of being scared. I'm tired of waiting. I want to make a play now. Let me do this. Trust me. The team trusts him, and look what they got. A very important round. Sometimes timeouts aren't taken. I'll eat those words. If Stan wants to do that play, they don't need a timeout.
I don't know how much they're going to be able to recreate that as Searson. Wow. He's put him in his place. That's all I can say. Stan is gone within seconds, and they've already had to try and pull a rotation back to this B site. Tesses might be left in the open in just a moment. That smoke is about to fade, and he is sat behind it. Zontares waiting patiently. The defender will just fall back, and it leaves that 2v2 split again. And although we haven't necessarily seen the craziest entries out from Big, when they've had an advantage in a round, it hasn't really been slipping. They've been very good at trading these kills back.
50 seconds and no smokes left for the CT side. Plenty of smokes, flashes, and utility for the T side, though. So they are banking on winning their duels. They're selling the B site. Double smoke, flashbang landing. The bomb is still going towards mid. If tabseN moves in here, they should be doing the rotation. When he finds out the site is clear, they should not be going into mid. Let's wait and see. He is going all the way. They're going to rotate, surely. Yeah, the rotation is going to happen now.
Yeah, they've made the realization. I like the gamble. I like the idea from Heroic in a round that looked like it was slipping away. But this is something I think you don't see enough in Counter-Strike as well, is when you make these sort of reads to go towards one site, having that player doing the due diligence to actually check out the other. And I think that comes with huge amounts of experience from tabseN, not afraid to risk his life to make sure the squad are making the right call. And that round, up until he does that, I think is a loss. Like, they're about to push into a 4-man stack from Heroic, and tabseN at the last moment changes their mind.
Good play coming out of the German in-game leader, which will gain bigger lead. Also some economical damage as Cadian, well, he's not dead now. Almost thought that frag was done, but the orb will be saved. With 4 weapons on both teams. Running through the Molotovs here, just trying to deny the orb, but it won't happen. So 4 weapons saved on both teams. Big up with 1 round. And once again, remember, this is the map choice of Heroic. The map choice of Big. Overpass was won by Big. They're up 1-0. This is the best of 3. Big are 3 rounds away from winning this DreamHack Open. And yeah, technically winning back-to-back European DreamHack Opens, because they won the one in Leipzig when we were still having LANs. Of course, Anaheim was there as well, but that's not in Europe.
Take a banana control this time. However, it seems that with the amount of grenades that have been spotted flying down Banana, Big are going, well, I've counted, and I don't think there's that many people here. Do they check the corner, though? The corner's everything! Nico, he only gets one! Cadian comes up with a second. Even still, though, it swings into the favor of Big once again. Tizian, is he going to expect that this was shotgun AWP coming out from Cadian, and it's a really awkward battle, but it's Tizian on top, and how does Searson get that kill? It's left onto Bora. 2 players marginally low. They don't really have the money for this.
Yeah, once again, as on Overpass, it comes down to just these kind of small adjustments, these small timings, these kind of like 50-50 gambles, where all of them just pays off for Big Clan. We had 3, maybe it was 4 1v1s won by Big on that first map. This one is not the same as that, but it's all these different duels where Nico's supposed to get 2 or more. He only gets 1. Cadian is supposed to at least get some damage done, and he doesn't get anything. Stown is supposed to trade 1 for 1 in this situation. He doesn't. Everything is coming out Big Clan right now. They are 2 rounds away, and they're leading by 2 rounds as well. Cadian and the boys are spending all their money. They got some decent weaponry right now, but Big, they might be getting too close to that 16. How does that nade not do more damage? That was literally like 20 centimeters from Keto, and it did 6 damage.
Oh, well, maybe if it did a little bit more, he'd be dead, because the AWP has legged him as well. Alien's getting angry. Wants to try and take this Banana control once again. The problem is, he hasn't been their weakness. Nope. It's been this A site, and you can see Big again are just lurking outside. They haven't spotted Keto, but he gets nothing. That could have been a huge kill for Big. Instead, they straight away just make that move towards A once again. The timing for Barup isn't great, and in fact, it's going to allow the wraparound, but Down has caught out Searson. That's the bomb down in middle. All the pace is ripped away from Big. It's a nice shot from Tabson, though. He continues his reign of terror, 21 and 12. He's looking for number 22 and will find it. And in the meantime, Zontares has gone back to retrieve the bomb. They're going to get their 3 versus 3. And Tabson, I think he just spotted another one around the edge of the smoke. He's still looking to do more. And the in-game leader continues. This is one of those games where you just can't stop him. But thankfully, Stown will put him down. And he has brought back his play over the last few, with Cadian now looking for a peek to try and find a way back into this round. They do have a kit available to them, and they're looking to try and play this one together. Tizian's still just lurking around the smoke. He doesn't know how far out they've got, but I think Zontares has made the peak. That'll be 1 for them, and the second comes through as well. 15 for Big. Map, series, and tournament point.
Close, but not close enough for Heroic. I think that has to be the tail of this tournament for them. Big, when their star players hit this kind of level, we saw Zontares on the first map. We saw Tizian surprisingly. On this map, it's been Tabson. It's been Searson getting back to form with 21 to 18. When their players are hitting this level, they are at least the best team in Europe right now. There's no doubt about it. And potentially also the world #1. No one can deny that. They're playing very, very good Counter-Strike at this point. And Heroic, they're just like 10% off, I feel like. But it's very clear that they are off. That Big are the better team right now.
Got a mountain to climb, that's for sure. They haven't been able to bring back too much, and Zontares is already going to start things off. Tesses, he hasn't had the best map. This will be a time to wake up. He does manage 1, but that is all. As said, once the advantage goes to Big, it seems to just continue. An after plant position. A kit for Barup and a small amount of utility. They're just going to come through early, try and deny it, but it isn't happening at all. Cadian left. 1 versus 4 to try and save the grand final, to steal it away from what will be the 3 times DreamHack champion this year. And it is going to be the case. Big take the victory. They did the same in Leipzig. They've done the same once again here. Of course, they were also the champions of DreamHack Masters. To be honest, DreamHack might as well have just handed them the trophy from the beginning, as they've dominated from start to finish. Risk. It has been an incredible tournament for Big.
What a tournament from all of their players. I feel like everyone has taken part in this one. Tabson in that last map, but in that first map, of Overpass, it was Tizian who was the big star, the player that everyone doubted throughout the beginnings of this tournament and also throughout the semifinals as well. He has been the player who stepped up in that Overpass. So big congratulations to him. Big congratulations to Tabson, Centaurus, the whole Big Clan team. They have done perfectly, and what a deserved victory.
Yeah, for sure. And a decent team to come up against in this grand final as well. Like maybe a bit of a surprise for the first map as they headed off to Overpass. Again, we saw them down. We saw them looking like it could be a heroic map, and they drag it all the way back. And then we see that once again in this map. They lose themselves like a round early on. We see them sort of slip away and then come back into the fold. And that just seems to be the thing with this big squad. They are resilient.
All right, resilient is the key word. And I'm looking forward to hear what our analysts have to say about this. They have the time to talk about it now, and we're going to jump it over to them.
An incredible showing from the German side of Big. They managed to take their second DreamHack trophy this year. An incredible showing from them, Christine, and I cannot believe the fortitude they showed in those final rounds.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, second DreamHack Open and even the Masters, right? So all together, 3 DreamHack trophies this year. And that's that success story for Big. At any moment, you know, sure, I think Heroic, they had actually a fantastic series coming into this. They put up quite a good show. There were too many mistakes, though, that allowed Big to constantly apply those layers, apply all their hard work that they put on in 2020 to be able to claw their way back into series like this when the pressure is on. So what we saw here was Big. They just looked in full control.
They really did. And I feel like we need to pick up on what Tom said about, you know, Big took a little bit of time to warm up in those first initial rounds. And we saw some of those fraggers not really coming out initially, but the more time you give them to warm up, Blair, the more they are just going to come out to play. And everybody stepped up when they needed to.
Oh yeah, I mean, like Tabson leading by example, 24 frags, the captain, he was hitting some nutty shots as well. But I think it's a story of two things. If you look at the second half, Big's T side, they were so decisive, the decision making, the rotations, the way they were hitting that 8 bombs, that's so quick, so clean, a lot of conviction in the calls, a lot of conviction in the utility usage as well. On the other side, for Heroic, you could see the nerves showing. I believe Riz did mention this while he was casting about how some of the players, they're missing shots. You rarely see them miss. I mean, Potter, Stavn, one player we keep talking about just being the star player in Inferno. He was hitting shots he was missing shots rather, where I'm like, wait, is this the same Stavn? That was a nerve showing. They were looking a little jittery, and in the end, it was the experience as well as the skill in that lineup. Xantares bottom fragging in the final map, who has been an absolute beast this entire tournament. But this time around, it was the rest of his team. It's the 4 German who carried him on that final map.
Look, Dobbin knew he was, sorry, Freya, he knew he messed up. You know, you saw him just standing his ground in that Molotov. He's like, okay, I give up. This round, I want to forget about it, completely erase it from my mind. But yeah, I mean, you absolutely saw that eventually that sort of pressure, it starts stacking up. You start remembering all those shots that you missed. And so then it starts affecting your decision making. So not only are your shots not hitting, not as crisp as they are, but when your decision making starts to lack, then those opportunities, they just fall out of your fingertips.
Yeah, they really do. And I love that you picked up about Xantares, you know, at the bottom of the leaderboard. But he didn't even really need to show up. That's the thing, because we saw Searson, a person that we pitted at the beginning of this tournament, saying we're going to be all eyes on him, who, you know, maybe had a few games that he was really, really showing up in. But man, this final game, he looked so good, Christine.
He did. And that's the power of having the weapon that is Xantares, right? And I really like Big's approach here. You know, all of their series that they tend to go into, they're not too worried about the weaponry being the weapons. They're utilizing their players as those weapons. Xantares, at any point, his teammates have the flashbangs ready, and they can utilize Xantares' crisp aim, decision making to their advantage. So even if they're down numbers, man, they have the ability to turn things around in an instant.
It really was incredible to see. You know what that noise means? It can only mean one thing. We've got the man of the hour himself, Tabson, joining us. Congratulations, firstly, man. That was an absolutely incredible showing for yourself and the team. Can you walk me through the final reactions of the team when you knew you'd sealed that final round? What was going through your head?
First of all, thank you very much. Yeah, the first feelings and the thoughts was just a relief. Like it was just a relief, to be honest. Like after the very first rounds, we knew it will be a really hard game, and I'm so happy and glad that we made it to the top again, and I couldn't be more proud.
Yeah, you guys should be so incredibly proud. Definitely cementing that #1 spot in the world. But I do want to talk about Kito's ace with the Shawlies on that first pistol. Can you just walk me through what the hell was going on there? You guys must have just been like, how did you pull that off?
You know, I was in the bathroom, I was just washing my hands, and then after I came back and I was like, hey, you know what? I dropped duels for Kito. And he's like, okay, sure. And after that, I was like, yeah, we did it! And he made an ace, and we were all so happy about it. It was incredible. It was really nice.
Tapson, again, first, congratulations. But going back to the veto, Heroic banning Overpass. Now, Heroic not banning Overpass. I mean, they've done this in the past. Were you expecting that? Were you expecting them not to ban Overpass? And when you picked it, were you ready for them? Or were you just like, let's see how it goes?
No, we were expecting to pick Overpass. Like there were two decisions to be made. Either they ban Overpass or they ban us too. There's nothing else, to be honest. And we just prepared Overpass, which was really good for us because they never played it really. They had played it once yesterday against Complexity. Other than that, they really have, I would say, no gaming experience on this map. So yeah, we were well prepared on that.
Fantastic. Congratulations again, man. I gotta ask, 2020 has been so successful for you this year. Moving forward, though, now you guys are in this weird position where you're no longer approaching tournaments as, oh, I think we can win. Now you're approaching tournaments as the pure favorites. Now every top team are going to be looking out to take that away from you guys. Is there anything that you think you're going to have to adjust moving forward to kind of prepare for that different perspective?
Yeah, of course. Like going as a favorite into a tournament completely changed everything. But for us, to be honest, it's like always we go game by game. We are not looking at, of course, we want to win the tournament, but we always go game by game because lately every team is really good. Like you have no easy games. Doesn't matter against who you play. And it's for us really important that we always change a little bit our style. We change a little bit of some grenades here, some moves there, so people don't really know what we are still doing, of course. And I hope it will work out in the future as well.
Tabson, I just wanted to give you the final opportunity to say anything to the fans that have been watching for you, rooting for you in the chat. Is there anything you want to say to them?
Of course. Thank you very much for supporting us. I really appreciate it. Everyone gets the messages, everyone gets the love you guys spread. Thank you very much and keep on going, supporting us.
Well, thank you so much, Tabson, for joining us. And thank you for the incredible showing in this grand final. Congratulations to you guys once again.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Fantastic words there from the man himself, Tabson. They must be so proud of that going forward. And I think that's something that we kind of want to pick up from that interview was, you know, he said, we are not done. We are still adapting going forward, Christine. So I don't think we have seen the last of Big yet.
I don't think so either. And, you know, they absolutely showcased that sort of innovative psychological warfare already in this tournament. Let's just think back on the pistols, okay? Even in this series, Big, they absolutely dominated those pistols. We think back on OG, that HE grenade warfare going down at Banana. Big always brought something new. They brought something fresh, and they're an exciting team to watch right now.
They really are indeed. And I think that gives us the time to crown our MVP of the tournament here in the EU region. Blair, who is it going to be?
I have no doubt it has to be Mr. Xantares right there. Now, he had a quiet final map, but apart from that, he was everywhere. You look at Overpass, we keep talking about Tizian. Xantares still out-fragged Tizian. That's the thing. This guy is so consistent. His aim is almost aimbot-ish at times. You saw that yesterday in Mirage. It's an insane comeback where he's getting multi-kills time after time again. Now, take nothing away from Sirson. He has been fantastic with the AWP. Take nothing away from Tizian. Great utility usage. He's been great when it comes to, for example, that on that Overpass map, Tapson stepping up. Everyone has their moments. Kito as well. He's had a fantastic tournament, but Mr. Xantares, you remember him. You remember the plays he goes for through the smoke, this flick shot. What is this? I mean, he's making the recall work in his favor. This guy's ridiculous. Doesn't matter, it's AKs, the rifles, and imagine having a weapon like this in your arsenal. I mean, if I'm Tapson, I'm just a happy man.
But that's the thing that is so fantastic about this team. I know you noted there, Blair. Everybody else can step up, and they step up in different areas as well. It's this synergy that Big have together, which makes them so unstoppable. And I know, Christine, you were talking about way back, I think even before Leipzig, even before their first win at a DreamHack Open, you were saying the key to unlocking this Big formula is the consistency of Santares. And I feel like he's totally shown that.
He has. And it's really all thanks to, as you mentioned, Freya, everyone else stepping up. The entire synergy of this squad at any point, when you look at Tizian's stats, he's not usually carrying, but he's as successful as his squad's gonna be because of the dirty jobs that that's in his responsibility, right? And even for Santares, he's gonna be that weapon, but he's going to only be as successful as his team is. So I love seeing that all 5 of these guys have found that winning recipe, that winning formula for themselves to put themselves in this position.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful to witness. But I think we also have to give some credit to the heroic side. Sudan, we didn't even expect them to be making it this far, and they really put up a valiant effort against the world #1 Big.
Oh yeah, they did. I mean, yesterday that win against Complexity, it was like both the teams were nervous, but they were able to stop the Juggernaut coming to this matchup. Yeah, they were ballsy. Like we said, Potter and I were very impressed that they were willing to ban out Dust to play Overpass, a map that have only played, they have 100% win rate on it just because they just won one map on it yesterday against Complexity. They had a ball to do that. Coming into Inferno, I liked what they did when it was looking rough. Aggression against Big, just in that one round where just a push down mid, just completely mowed them down. Some good anti-ecos coming in, but overall I kind of feel the nerves got a little bit too much for them to handle. And of course, Big, a masterclass T side. I love the way they just kind of dissected a CD side defense. And the good thing is they're a team who are still, they're still rising. They're still kind of in a weird spot right now for me, Heroic, where they are, I feel, too good to be a tier 2 team, yet they're not exactly there when it comes to being a tier 1, but they're showing glimpses, they're showing signs, and very soon I hope to see better things from them, especially with Nico and Tessa's coming, kind of feeling more at home in this lineup.
Yeah, of course, indeed. And I think that is something that we need to pick up on from the heroic side. A lot of these players, they are so young. They have so much potential going forward, Christine. So I don't think this is the last we're going to be seeing of heroic.
Definitely not. This is one of those character building series, character building grand finals I always talk about. These youngsters, they've got those spongy brains. They're going to be able to soak up every instance, every reaction, wrong play, and every great play. So I'm excited to see what kind of stone we see moving forward with that AWP. And Nico has been exciting for this heroic roster. So it's a bright future ahead for heroic.
Yeah, it really is indeed. But of course, this isn't all the action we have for you today. Going forward, of course, we have our NA matchups as well. We've got to crown another champion here, and it is going to be going down once again. Furia versus Liquid. So then I hear those nice noises from you. You're excited about this one.
Oh, I am so ready for this. I'm sitting this one out. Obviously, my is going to be coming in, but I'm going to be sitting here watching this game because Liquid, we have Grim, we have Mr. Jason Moses O'Toole at the helm, then you have Furia, Art, and Henny, and of course the rest of the crew. This one, I might even say this could be even more exciting than what we witnessed right now between Big and Heroic. It's going to be one hell of a banquet.
It is going to be an absolutely incredible match. And of course, we'll be getting into it very soon. And that's been a fantastic end to the EU action here. And of course, a huge congratulations to our victors, Big, once again. But of course, this isn't all the action we have for you today. Coming your way, we are not done with crowning these champions. There is still a space on the throne, and it is over in NA. It's going to be a battle for the ages as the Giants of Liquid take on a hungry Furia, but only one can get their hands on the title, and it's all kicking off after this.